How to kickflip. In this video, I'm going to show you how to land a kickflip and some common mistakes that might be holding you back from landing them. Kickflips may seem challenging at first, but they can be a really fun trick once you understand them. Chances are, the kickflip will be the first flip trick that you learn. I think it's safe to say that people tend to learn this trick first because we're already used to the kicking motion. Learning any trick on a skateboard is challenging in general, but the first few tricks you learn will introduce you to your process of learning tricks. That's why the first few tricks you learn seem so difficult. Not only are you learning the trick, but you are learning the process too. Don't worry though, after the first time you're able to land back on the board, it gets a lot easier. If you're enjoying the video and you'd like to support this channel, all you have to do is leave a comment or like the video or even subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can be notified when I post a new video. At the end of the video, I've included some clips of people landing their first kickflips, and it's pretty entertaining, so stick around for that. Before we go through the process of the trick, there are a few things that you're going to want to keep in mind. Be comfortable on your board. The best thing you can do to make learning any trick easier is to just be comfortable and confident riding on your board. You will be surprised how much this helps. Also, learning a few other basic tricks like shove-it variations will help you get a feel for rolling away. Getting some really solid ollies consistently will also make learning kickflips that much easier. Timing. What really makes this trick happen is good timing. Your feet have to be working together the whole time. Try not to get stuck doing it wrong in the same way too many times. If the board is not getting the rotation that you want, that means you're going to have to tweak your timing. If you get stuck, stop and think about what is going wrong. There's no point in doing the wrong thing over and over again. Jump. It's easy to get so wrapped up in thinking about what your board is doing that you forget to actually jump in the air. The fact is, if you don't jump high enough to allow the board to fully rotate, then you have no chance of landing back on it. Foot position. You want to start by putting your front foot slightly behind the front bolts at an angle. Your back foot should be in the middle of the tail with your weight more on the toes than the heel. Your foot position is important, so don't forget to set up your feet well before every try. The kickflip can be broken down into three parts: the pop and pre-flick, the flick, and the landing. The movement begins very similar to the way an ollie starts, but you want to go slightly off the side of the board instead of straight up the nose. It is important that you twist your ankle inward on your front foot as you pop the board. This is what's going to set you up for a good flick. Next is the tricky part, the flick. Keep in mind that you need to be flicking the board after you pop. That is essential to the timing of this trick. The flick is going to be done with the ankle and not the knee. I've seen a lot of people try to kick their whole leg out to flip the board when they're learning. You will notice that when you try to kick the board using your whole leg and knee, that you don't have as much control. Eventually you can try to use your leg more to get a boned kickflip, but we're not there yet. It will help to find your own sweet spot when it comes to where you actually flick off the edge of the board. Usually the sweet spot is right where the nose starts to bend on your board. But like I said, you will have to find your own sweet spot. I've noticed that taller people tend to flick off the board in a different spot than shorter people. So it will just take some playing around to find the perfect spot that feels right to you. But it will be somewhere around this area. Try to get the board to flip and land around the same spot on the ground. This will really help you when you are ready to try and land back on the board. At first you are going to just try to get the board to flip consistently without worrying too much about landing on it. You can do this part while moving if you would like, but don't forget to jump. You want to jump up and hover in the air as you flick the board every time you try. The jumping is going to make it much easier to land after you get that consistent flip. Are you ready to piece it all together and land this thing? Keep a few things in mind. You have to keep your weight over the board. If you turn your shoulders while flicking the board, then your body will probably turn to follow them. Be aware of that and keep them lined up with the board. Jump high and hover. If you remember to jump every time you were flicking the board, then this should not be too tough. Avoid straightening your legs if you can, though. Bending your knees when you land is the main way you're going to be able to keep your balance and roll away. If you don't think you're quite ready to commit to landing, try to catch the board in the air with your back foot at least. I've given you everything you need to land this trick, but landing it is going to be up to you. All you need to do now is commit to rolling away.
Yeah. Woohoo! All that hard work, bro. Congrats. Yeah!
That's awesome!
Sí, señor. Yes, you did it. You did it.
Yes. Yes. And I think I forget.